Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can anyone hear us?
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for joining. Just 1 or 2 more minutes and we are ready to go. And sorry for the technical difficulties. This is our first time, so please be gentle. But we'll be here with you in 2 minutes, I guess.
Let's go.
Are we ready to go, Amos, Gergő? Okay. So good evening, everyone, offline and online too. Thanks for joining. It's a real honor to have you here as our friends and our first customers for the initial tasting of Noble Nectars, which I'm proud to represent. And here with me are Laci and Gergő and Ivo, who chose to be with his family. So he has his priorities straight, but we will have more fun. So thanks, Ivo. And I would like you to welcome our special guest for the evening, our host for the evening, the one who thinks that the sky or Whisky is the limit, Salim. So,
hi guys. Hi.
A few technical informations before we jump onto the tasting is that we are doing the live stream. So please, if you have any feedbacks, questions, we will only answer to the positive feedbacks, and we are really happy to answer to your questions as well. There will be chance for the offline and online crowd to ask Salim anything, and we will try to answer everyone's input. So feel free to do this interactively as we usually do with our clubs. And the tasting will be conducted in English, of course, because we have a host and many of our friends from abroad. But if someone feels that he is missing out on something, that feel free, shout, and we will also translate or change into any other language. So without further ado, Salim, thanks for joining us, and the mic is yours.
Thank you very much. Thanks, man. First of all, I would like to thank you, the team at Noble Nectar, for the invitation. It's great to work with people who actually really know whiskey. When they told me to come and to present the brand, I was quite happy. And today, when I asked them, please tell me about the people that will come tonight. Should I explain to them how the whiskey is made and everything? And they told me, don't worry about that. They know whiskey already. So if you have a question, feel free to ask about the whiskey production. But I guess you all know the whiskey. You also really know the brands you like, the independent bottlers universe. Even if maybe more than the half people here knows a lot about it, if someone has a question, feel free to ask. So yeah, my name is Salim Duriot. I'm from Switzerland. I grew up in Switzerland my whole life. I'm originated from Morocco, but my whole life was in Switzerland. And 10 years ago, it's a long time. I'm saying 10 years. Maybe it's 15 years ago. I started being passionate about whiskey thanks to the grandfather of my wife, who offered me my first bottle of whiskey.
How old were you when this happened?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
No, it was around 20 years old.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah. And it wasn't the first whiskey I had. That was the first real whiskey. I mean, not the one you drink with Coca-Cola and everything. So the first year he offered me a bottle of whiskey. The second year 2, and the third year I decided to try them with friends, and at this moment I understood that they were all different. It wasn't just the same liquid with different brand on the label. But for all of us, it's easy to understand that. But for me, 15 years ago, it was, oh wow, that's completely different. Also, I tasted Ardbeg 10 years old, and it was like, oh, the peat, what the fuck is that? Sorry, I discovered the peat. And the passion started at this point, tasting new things. And at some point, I decided to perform whiskey tastings in my city. I'm from Geneva, in Switzerland. And after this, I made a lot of whiskey tasting. And in the end of the event, I had nothing to sell. Just, hey, you discovered that Bowmore is good? Hey, you can buy it in another shop, which wasn't a good strategy. So I started selling bottles, and then it wasn't too personal. I needed to go further. So there was two possibilities: having a distillery or becoming an independent bottler. Now you know what I chose, which is becoming an independent bottler. The company, Whisky is the Limit, is now 3 years old, slightly more than 3 years old. I have, let's say, 15 different releases. Most of them are already sold out. But tonight, we have 6 different bottles that you can enjoy with us tonight. And also you can buy after you have all the information, how to buy it and on the website. So thank you for being here. I would like to start if you...
Yeah, I guess one important info, as we have guests offline and online as well, that we discussed previously how we want to do the tasting, and if someone has only 1 hour to spend with us, then everyone can proceed in his or her own pace. Like our friend Polly suggests. But if someone has a more freer evening with us and more time to spend with us together for the question part and for the discussion part, then very welcome, and we will, or Salim will guide the tasting and share stories and answer questions. So it will be a more flexible tasting this way, and we will record it. So please be careful what you shout and how you...
I say the bad word already,
we
sorry.
We will beep the fucks out, so...
Beep the beep out.
Yeah. So, over to you.
Okay, so please, guys, here and on YouTube, follow me with the first drum, which is a whiskey distilled at Benriach Distillery. We are in the Speyside. And I really like this distillery. It's a distillery, even with the, I would say, the Speyside style, but also coastal notes. Because of the geography, they're really close to the shore. So I love to get both sides of the flavors. Coastal notes, Speyside flavors. This whiskey is 7 years old. And the last year of the 7th, are in the first fill Banyuls wine barrique. Do you guys know what Banyuls is? Here, no? On YouTube? Oh, yeah, someone knows. Yeah, good. I will explain. It's a French wine. It's a French wine from south of France. It's a special one. It's a, I don't know if we say that like this in English. It's a cooked wine. You put the big inox tank in the sun, so the wine is cooking in a way, and it's more sweet, but also got a lot of nutty flavors, and that's what I liked in the results. The Benriach with this sweet and nutty flavors. Please enjoy, and feel free to share with me what is your opinion on this one.
And then how did you manage to grab the cask for the finish? You went to the winery and asked for, I want that, and you delivered it to your warehouse and experimented it? Or how does this go?
That's the best part of the job, but it's not happening for this one.
Okay. Because sorry, with previous experiences and independent bottler friends, we learned already that during drinking, the big business is made, the big decisions are made, and sometimes you do not remember what happened. And then you get the receipt or the contract, and then you realize that, okay, I need a really good deal, or fuck, I need to do something.
So that's true, but what I would say is that I have 2 ways to source the empty casks, is to visit the wineries. Like I said, that's the best part of the job. Also, like visiting distilleries, visiting warehouses. But I also work with suppliers who know this job pretty well. And the more you work with someone, the better is the list you get. I mean, you get the list before the other guys. So yeah, I work with a supplier of French wine casks who has a lot of different type of wine, not just the classics. And I like to ask him for special things, And he likes to surprise me, to call me out. I have something special you never used. Okay, bring them on. So yeah, the Banyuls is not from the winery directly, from a supplier, but it depends on every type of whiskey I'm releasing. Sometimes it's directly from the supplier, the winery, I mean.
Yeah, and the benefit of being here offline is that I can give out this bottle to the guys to check it out.
Yeah, and also feel free to fill the label in the front of the label, because there is, you will see an animal en relief in 3D. You can touch it, and all the information are always written on the label for those who really not want to know the details. But there is a big part for design. But each element you see on the design has a link with the whiskey or the distillery or the area, the surroundings. It's always well chosen. I mean, choose carefully. I hope you find it well. But in my opinion, it's just carefully to disclose elements you would see around the distillery.
I'm happy to see that you're satisfied with your decision. So
yeah.
That's a good sign. Okay.
I paid the designer enough to be happy.
All right. That's important.
Yeah. And something you should know also about this Benriach is that this is the only one whiskey I reduced to 46% ABV. The rest of the range is cask strength or slightly reduced. I will explain when we arrive to the whiskey concern. But it's quite all the time cask strength, but this one is released at 46% ABV.
And would you suggest to us to use the same method like we do with our club tasting and during our own tastings, like use a few drops of water to let it open up and leave something for later on to compare with some other bottling, or
definitely.
How would you?
Yeah. For this one, for the Benriach, maybe it's not important to try it. You can, for science purposes, trying with water, please. But the fact is already reduced to 46. Give a slight punch to reduce before being not a whiskey anymore.
And so you just shared the most important sentence of the evening, which I will tell my wife when I get home, is that this is for science.
Yeah, exactly. This is for science, completely. If I decided to reduce this one, there is two reasons behind this. The first one, let's talk business, is to bring people who don't know the cask strength whiskey, and I would like for them to have a first step in my range. That's one of the reasons. And the other reason is for the taste. When I received the sample from this Benriach, it was like an explosion in every direction. The cask, the taste of the whiskey, the fact it was peated. No, I don't know if you feel the peat in this one, maybe slightly, but it was more, it was lightly peated. No, it's really just like a watermark, just one drop of peat. So when I tried at home, just to reduce it, just to know what it would become, it was more understandable. That's why I decided to reduce this one to 46.
I don't know any one of you, online or offline, do you have any feedbacks already from the first sips, or let's wait a little for...
No questions online yet.
No questions online.
Okay. And feel free to say what you, how you tasted it. If you like it or not. Truly, I'm not shocked if you say something bad or about my whiskeys. The thing is, for sure, I have a philosophy. When I'm working, I try to find whiskeys that have something in common, but they're all from different distilleries and different style. So in the end, you won't like them all. Or maybe if you like them all, that's good. I like them all, but they're all different. So sometimes you like it for a reason and you don't like it for a reason, and feel free to share any opinion. I won't cry in my bed tonight if you, if you say something bad.
Because everything is sold out. So.
Yeah.
But you just mentioned a really important point that we touched with the clubs in the past year several times, is that when you try independent bottlers' products, it's always about, in many cases, especially when you are talking about a one-man show like yours, or we have other friends abroad who do the same thing, is that you are able to get a glimpse on what they like and what they decide is a good whiskey and it is worth to bottle and try and to experiment with. So this is really something that divides whiskey drinking hobbyists and people. So, but all in all, it's a great chance to be able to do it, and especially together. And we are really happy to get any feedbacks on the first dram and of course during the whole tasting.
About this, when I visited the first time Scotland, I went many times in Scotland, but the first time I visited, it was a trip with my wife, and the first plan was to visit Scotland for a month. Okay, we went there for a month. And she told me, okay, we can visit distilleries, but maybe 5, okay, during the travel.
Per day.
Okay, it was more like this.
day.
I think we reached 25 to 30 distilleries during the first trip. So, yeah, but what I loved is to discover that when you speak with someone who's working there, not only the students who are doing the tours for just getting money. When you discuss with someone who's really working there, they're all saying, if you don't like the whiskey here, no worries. The next distillery right in the corner. And in this distillery, there are some people that won't like this one, and they will come to us and find the whiskey they like. So I remember that. And that's why I share also with you that you can say and express what you think about these whiskies, because there is many other brands, and some like this one, some like this, like another one. Yeah, it's an open world.
At Village Chat we have already received some positive feedbacks. So someone says that if this is the start this evening, it's gonna be amazing. So
Nice, cheers to that.
good start.
Yeah, that's good. Do you feel a nutty flavor? Nutty? Yeah? Nuttiness?
And I get this dumpy warehouse or cellar feeling, which could be the wine impact and this slight peat that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it's watered down, it's very intense. It's as intense as a cask strength whiskey.
Yeah. So imagine that when I had it, cask strength, it was... Yeah, exactly.
How strong was it, cask strength?
It was at 60.2 or something around this.
Next time we would like a sample from that, please.
From the cask strength
From the cask
also,
strength,
yeah.
Science.
Yeah, science purpose. But it happened once that I bottled. It was something, a private cask I did for a company. And they wanted the whiskey at 46 because it was for people that never tried whiskey. They wanted even at 40, and I said, no, I won't go to 40. 46 is the best I can do. And they wanted a certain amount of bottles. So I told them, the rest of the cask, I will keep it and release it cask strength. And it is a liquid. Funny story after this. It was a liquid released at 62.2 ABV, and it was really strong in a Bordeaux wine cask. It was really good. It was limited for Switzerland, but then I received a call from someone in Portugal who told me I would like all the bottles. So it's limited for Switzerland, and 2/3 of this cask strength bottling is in Portugal.
Okay. Okay, any other questions online or offline?
Only positive feedbacks.
All right.
So
Good.
Good start. Let's keep it.
Let's see with the first cast ranks what would happen.
Okay.
So, guys, if you're ready to hop on the next bottling, I would like to share with you the Tommy Towel. It's 11 years old whiskey, aged for 10 years in a refilled bourbon hogshead, and then for 1 year in a first fill bourbon hogshead. More on the classic side of whiskey, I mean for using bourbon casks. Let's say that many people think that I am the wine guy, the guy who use a lot of wine barrique. That's true. That's true. Even though my mission is to find the right balance and not just releasing strong wines. It's whiskeys with wine influence. But also, when a lot of people told me, oh yeah, you only release some wine barrique, I released some bourbon cask to show what I can do with a bourbon cask. Because I like them all, not only with the wine. Yeah.
That's the second one.
And the ABV is, you have the bottle, but I guess it's 76.3 or 77?
56.8.
56 pounds.
Yeah, 56, okay, 0.8. What I like with Tom Towel, I mean the original bottlings from them, from the distillery. What I like from them is the classic Speyside style. That's what I like with them.
Okay, but one step back, because Tom Towel is not that well known, I guess, or at least not for me. So how many of you tried Tom Towel, the
Before.
OB lineup and
From OB, not from independent? Nice.
okay, and
You from independent.
how many
From
of
independent?
Maybe I don't.
Yeah. But I did. No, everyone has the Tom Towel. But on the other side, what they are releasing is a really low ABV. So that's the first time I had a cask strength Tom Towel. So I like the fact it's on the same sweet side, but with a kick, a peppery kick I get from this bottling.
And it's also a benefit of being an IB to being able to choose from these hidden gems or hidden spirits, like Tom Towel and many of these editions, which usually go to blends and stay under the radar, but
Yes.
but you can still afford to get a cask or to get them bottled, and it's always interesting if the distillery original lineup is not that interesting to try a custom
Yeah, and
version
release
of it.
our own version.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good with the Diageo brands, is that there is an easy access for independent bottlers to get whiskies from distilleries you will never know as an original bottling. Yes, there is the Flora and Fauna range, so they can say we release the single malt of every our distillery, but you really taste distilleries from Diageo through the independent. I mean, the ones you don't see like Talisker, Lagavulin or Kaulila. Yeah, you have enough from the brand itself, but on all the other names, Delrain, Glen Elgin, Offroysk, we will have after, Blair Hatton, all these whiskies, you get them from independent bottlers. And it's a real pleasure to work in this business, not only for sharing with you guys, but also for me to taste some things I don't have access, neither myself. So I love this.
for me, the nuttiness comes at the finish. It's really a spicy kick, but
Yeah,
it's nutty on the finish.
there is.
But it can take water, a few drops.
Yeah, feel free to add water as you like inside. But yeah, in my opinion, it starts with a kick. Then you have the classic vanilla flavors, and then more spicy from the wood. I think it's from the ester from the wood. Then it's from the wood.
We are starting to reach our goal because the background noise is growing. So
Yeah, feel free to share
We are
with
doing
us
great.
or between you guys.
Is this a first fill bourbon cask?
Yes, for 1 year. The 10 first years was on a refill bourbon cask, and just 1 year in the end in a first fill. Yes.
Sorry, they don't have microphones, so can you repeat the question when you hear it?
Oh yeah, sure. So the question was about how the whiskey was made. I mean, it was 10 years in a refill bourbon hogshead, and then 1 year in a first fill hogshead. First fill bourbon hogshead. Yes. And all the casks, all the first fill casks, I release. Every time when it's empty, I fill new make I can buy on the market. I fill new make in these casks, and they're aging for quite some years. Yeah, still reusing the cask every time. On the two first whiskeys we had, do you have a preference? The second one? Second one? Yeah, I think the second one got a lot of interest.
interesting
Yeah.
because for me the first one was much more easygoing and
Yes, that's why it's good to start with
due
this
to my
one.
mood today,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
First one was more interesting to me, but the second one is very interesting as a tomato.
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So we had a comment that the first one was interesting, but the second one is interesting as a tomin tool compared to the distillery bottlings, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Sorry, just
Question.
one question.
Yes.
Why did you choose after 10 years of refill bourbon hogshead to have an additional 1 year first fill?
Okay.
So the,
So the
Yeah,
question is why I decided to get an extra year in a first fill bourbon hogshead after 10 years in the refill. So I would say that the answer is that after 10 years, when I had I tasted it, and I felt like okay, the bourbon, the refill bourbon, is not giving too much flavor to release it now. So I decided at this moment, okay, I don't want to go another route. I don't want to put cherry or wine on this one. I like the classic style Tomin tool, but it wasn't enough with the refill bourbon. So I decided to switch to a first fill bourbon.
Great choice.
Thank you. Cheers.
was there any time a case when the spirit was not all right, but you had to bottle it to generate, I don't know, revenue to keep things going, and you decided that this is not to my taste, I wouldn't go with this normally,
Okay.
or you have the luxury of saying that I will wait until it's perfect.
There is always another option. When you, because it will happen to any independent bottler outside, two things will happen. A whiskey will turn to be bad, and there will be leaks. You will lose your whiskey from the cask. It will happen to you if you're an independent bottler. If it's not happening, maybe you're not yet an independent bottler. No, I'm joking. If the whiskey isn't that good, the other route, instead of bottling it and let's see what happens, is to blend it, or to sell it, by yourself, or sell it to a blender. Because let's imagine that you taste it and it's way too dry. The flavors is way too dry. Even if there is outside some cherry bomb lovers who likes the dry taste, sometimes it's too much. You sell it to a blender or you blend it by yourself, so you don't have to put many casks of dry whiskey to bring a balance. You just add one, and then you find a balance for a whiskey. There is too sweet, and you want to bring some balance with dry whiskey.
Okay, so it's a big playground.
Yeah, definitely. For science.
For science and with forklifts, with warehouses, with...
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you also have blended releases?
Yes, thank you for asking. I forgot to mention when I started.
The question was?
Yes, the question is, do I have some blended whiskies released? So the answer is yes and no. With my brand.
You lost half of the crowd here. Okay.
With the brand Whiskey is the Limit, the one we are discovering tonight, I only release some single casks. But end of last year, I launched a new brand called Limitless, dedicated for blended whiskies. And the first one I released, probably available in Hungary in a few months, maybe. A few weeks, few months.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yeah. Is a lightly peated whiskey, blended whiskey, with whiskies from the Highland and also from Islay. And I'm not allowed to say it's from Outback. So, no, I'm not allowed to write on the label.
This is already online, so...
If Bernard Arnault sees
You
this...
just lost it. I hope you have good lawyers.
Buy it before
Anyway.
it's prohibited. So yeah, I have a new brand for blended whiskies. Okay. Guys, if you... Yeah?
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask if any impressions or questions online or offline. Everyone is drinking, then we can proceed, okay. Everyone knows what to do. We are no amateurs, as we discussed.
Yeah. We're professional scientists.
No, how to sip it and anything.
I didn't explain how to do it. Even though I have a cool story that Jim McEwen from Bruichladdich shared with us during how to sip a whiskey. The joke, the story is about how to sip a whiskey. He was in Japan a couple of years ago, sharing his whiskies with people and explaining to them how to sip it. And when he told them how to sniff it, smell it, he told them, you should put your nose not like in a wine cask inside, not like this, but more in a certain distance. And to help people understand which was the right distance, he told them you can put your finger on the glass, put your nose, and then remove and smell it. And everyone in the crowd was like, with the finger, like, oh, it's better. It's always good to have a tasting. Probably you already met Jim McEwen during tastings or festivals. It's always great to have people like this with a long career and full of stories. So let's go with the third whiskey. Okay, we are in Speyside again and again. The distillery is, feel free to correct me in the pronunciation of this name. If you say it better than me, feel free to say it for sure. Offroysk Distillery. Offroysk. Okay.
He's our expert on site who is
Really?
traveling to Scotland and getting into places which are prohibited to get in. So you can
nice.
trust him to.
Okay, so the right pronunciation might be Ochroysk. Okroik. So thank you very much for this. So this Okroik whiskey is 11 years old, and this time again, 10 years in refill bourbon. Then around 6 months in first fill Saint-Estèphe wine barrique. Saint-Estèphe, it's a wine from Bordeaux in France. The one you might know is the Côte des Tournelles. Yeah, it's a famous wine in France.
So Ivo, if you are listening,
He's drinking.
this is your
yeah.
homework to
Yeah.
do a real wine tasting and whiskey pairing. So
Yeah, it's a beautiful area for whiskey. I mean, for whiskey. Not yet.
this is a beautiful area for
Yeah,
whiskey.
definitely. This is the beautiful area for whiskey. And Bordeaux is a perfect region for wine. And I like to find my casks there. Long story short, this is a partnership I made with La Maison de Whisky. They asked me for a single cask. I mean, they asked me for the brand, and I told them I already have a distributor in France. All I can do is to make a single cask for you. So this is a partnership. So 11 years old, finished in the first fill Saint-Estèphe wine barrique. And this is the one which is not cask strength. The ABV is 57.1, but it's slightly reduced from 60 to 57.1.
Maybe taste peaty notes, because on the first sip I had some similar feeling.
From you feel the peat, like a
Yeah,
peat.
yeah, something like that.
So that's the same feeling I had, but there is no peat inside. So I digged a little bit, and I understood that when they distill at Okroik distillery, they let it burn a little bit in the still. So maybe there is a smoky, lightly smoky flavor.
I would call it more than a slight smoky
Yeah?
flavor, but it might be that I'm just doing the wrong connections. But it blindly, I would say that this is something peated
Okay.
from the Highlands. But this is really interesting.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
I just checked. Maybe he has the wrong glasses. Maybe he had the Highland
maybe I had
Park.
the Highland Park.
No.
Who knows?
That's correct. You have the Okroik. Better to double check.
Okay, we have a very nice somewhere
Very nice here.
in the room. Okay, our first very nice.
Nice and sweet like ice wine.
Okay,
Right.
nice and sweet like ice wine.
Okay.
Good to hear. And as you heard, it was just 6 months, slightly less than 6 months, in this barrique, wine barrique. And that's what I said, why I said that my mission is not only to use wine barrique. I like this taste, but I know that sometimes, or maybe often, it's too much wine in the whiskey. And what I like most is whiskey, not wine. I like when there is just notes from the wine inside and not too much. So that's my mission, is to find the right balance. Sometimes it works, sometimes maybe not. But yeah, I like to take risks. And maybe I didn't say that when I started, but when you start as an independent bottler or in any other business linked to the spirits industry or not, you have to find your difference. What's different with you compared to other guys? And it's not being better. It's not the word I would use, because my mission is not to be better than another independent bottler. It's just to find my way. And what I like is to take risks. And sometimes it works. But the greater the risk, the greater the reward, I would say. So when I use some wine barrique that you don't see that much on the market, it's a risk from me, and I hope it works.
I would buy a bottle from it. Honestly, I did not try
Yeah?
before this distillery. I do not try to pronounce the name.
Okroik.
But-
Oh, I know.
Or correct.
Yeah.
But I like this one.
Okay, great.
This is this would be my first choice from the first three,
Oh, really?
and the second one would be the first.
Okay.
I don't know, guys, here.
Yeah, on your side.
Any priorities? Any preference?
3-1-2 for me.
3-1-2.
Okay. 3, 1, 2.
I find it a very nice balance between the barrel and spirit.
Okay. Yeah, he just said that he found a right balance between the spirit and the influence from the cask. I'm just repeating the good comments on the. for
Only the
YouTube.
good comments.
No. And some of you added some water inside the whiskey. Better. You just added. Better with water or better cask strength? With water. Better with water. Okay.
I guess we have some questions
Yes.
in mind.
We have few questions.
Please.
The first one is quite like a general one. Please repeat the question. Is the blended whiskey a blended malt or a blended one?
Yeah. Is my blended whiskey a blended malt or a blended Scotch or blended whiskey? So the first release from this brand called Limitless is a blended malt, but I'm not stick to it. I can release a new blend, which would be a blended Scotch, because it's a brand for blended in general. But yeah, I started with a blended malt. Also on the label, I just write blended Scotch, whether it's blended malt or blended Scotch. And then when I am with people, I can explain what's inside. But I want to people that find the bottle for the first time in a shop, just to experience it and decide if they want to buy it or not. Compared to Whiskey is the Limit, where you got all the information on the label. That's two different projects with two different missions. Giving all the information, and the other one only focusing on the taste, on the pleasure. It's different experience.
We have a second question.
Yes?
Second question.
Regarding finding the right taste. Is that the reason you diluted the whiskey a little bit before like this?
Sorry? I didn't get it.
So, is that-
Diluting the whiskey to find the right
Oh,
taste.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah,
question was if you dilute the whiskey to find the right taste for it being ready for bottling.
Okay. Most of the time, I release cask strength whiskies. So I give all the decision to the consumer. You can decide how many drops of water you want to add or none. But with the third one, the Okroik, I did some science stuff in my kitchen. And what I discovered is that it was way more elegant, just 3 degrees under. When it was at 60, it was really pungent, strong, and just a little bit lower, it was elegant. And I also tried lower at 54. And at 54, I had more woody flavors. So it was, for me, it was the right balance. It was at this ABV. Still, feel free to add water and discover by yourself which is your preference when you have it.
And what happens if a distillery does not have a spirit animal associated with it? So I'm looking at a griffin, I guess,
Exactly.
for the Tomintoul.
So yeah, for the Okroik, for instance, this is the swallow, the bird, the swallow, because it's the same one used by Diageo on the Flora and Fauna ranch. They are always an animal, okay?
You can
This-
always copy them, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can say it's Ardbeg, I can say it's the same bird.
If we are at the bottle design, I like it really.
Yeah,
I think it's
thank you.
a unique and
Unique design. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Yeah, but a lot, I mean, sometimes I'm just using an animal already known, but the rest of the time it's always a different story. For instance, you have the Benriach bottle on your hand. Benriach means the spotted mountain, with spot dot.
Yeah.
And the animal is a newt. Newt.
I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see that.
triton. A spotted newt. So And also we discovered that this animal was originated from this area. So always finding a link between the animal and the distillery. You also have a question?
That would be my question, what you...
Oh, okay, how I select. Yeah.
There's a very beautiful labels on your bottles, and I wanted to know where is it comes from, so the idea.
Yeah. So about the labels, how we created these labels. Okay, what I do is to bring the idea to a team of designers based in London. I choose the team. The company is called By Volume, and they're working in the beverage industry for years. They made their reputation during the brewery revolution, I would say. We also craft breweries growing 10 years ago everywhere in the world with new designs, exactly. And they were part of this revolution. So I told them, okay, I'm a whiskey guy. I will bring to you whiskey knowledge, and I want you to use the same techniques you did with the breweries, but for whiskey. And ta-da, that's it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one is more on the classic side of the whiskey. Welcome to Blair Atoll. We are in the Highlands, near the city Pitlochry, for those who know the area. It's a beautiful place, and the distillery is quite lovely. With if you visit the distillery during autumn, during fall, you see the wall of Blair Atoll distillery full of ivy leaves. You can see on the label also, and it's red, like the red you see on the labels. That's all the details I want to bring, because I visited this distillery during my first trip, and I was just amazed by this red wall in front of the distillery. Blair Atoll is releasing most of the whiskey for blended, for a blend called Bells. Maybe you know the name. You saw the bottle with the bell shape, and as you may see on the label, we will give the bottle to you guys. The Highland cow, which is the animal for the distillery, has a big, large cow bell, a link to the story of the distillery. But what they do the most is to age their whiskey in bourbon barrels, bourbon hogsheads. But in my personal opinion, what I like the most is Blair Atoll in sherry cask. Really, I really like this. So when I had the opportunity to do it, it was an easy way to select this one. And it's a special one because it's a 12 years old whiskey, and that's with the Kaolila, and another release that we will try after. The two first whiskies that I have released after full maturation in the same cask. All the rest is from double maturation, finish, or same type of treatment. So yeah, this is 12 years in the second fill sherry hogshead. Yes, please.
Have you worked with any distilleries that have some kind of requirements if you buy a cask from them, so you couldn't use sherry cask with their
Do the distillery has some special requirements when they buy cask from them? No, but when they don't want you to do some special things on their whiskey, they just sell the whiskey without the name.
just like the Williamson?
Williamson, for instance, they decided not to giving the name to independent bottlers, so you can call it Williamson in honor to Beth Williamson, and an old distillery manager from the distillery, a woman. But yes, these days a lot of distilleries are selling their whiskey without the name, and that's, in my opinion, there are many reasons behind this. But one of them is that before, a long time ago, all these distilleries were owned by Scottish families or Scottish groups. And they know the market and the ecosystem between distilleries and independent bottlers. And now you have groups from around the world that own distilleries. And just imagine, for instance, LVMH, Moet Hennessy, who owns Glenmorangie and Ardbeg. They made their reputation on their name. If you find, I don't know, a suitcase from Louis Vuitton, it's not the fact it's in leather. You can buy another suitcase in leather. The fact it costs a lot, it's just because you have the LV on the label. So the name worth more than the whiskey. So how they can understand that someone will come to the distillery, hey, I would like to buy a cask of Ardbeg, and I will write Ardbeg on the label. They can't understand this way to work. So I think it's one of the reasons why we see a lot of distilleries these days selling without the name. Okay, so please enjoy the fourth whiskey, the Blair Atoll, first 12 years old, second fill sherry oxide.
I wanted to share that based on the color, we did not talk about the color of the drums, but this seems to be a really active cask, and I'm not an expert, but still, if it's a second fill, and after 12 years, it's a really nice color, and blindly, I would say it's a
first
sherry
fill.
cask.
Yeah.
And the first one, the third one, and this one, for me, this dampy cellar feeling remains in all three of them. I don't know if it's correct or not, but I get this impression
After
from all three on the finish.
Yeah.
But the Okroy was really fantastic. I did not try any from the original bottlings previously, but from this I would love to have a bottle because it really felt like something peated.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
It's really something interesting.
Yeah. I recently had the opportunity to taste Delwyn from Samaroli, and we were like a lot of whiskey lovers. I won't say expert, but lovers. And no one had the courage to say, but it's peated. And at some point I was like, okay, I will look stupid to everyone, but I feel the peat inside. Okay. And I asked the guy from Samaroli, and he was like, okay, yeah, that's true, there is peat on this one. Even if it's not the distillery where you expect to find peat. And sometimes you have to trust your feeling, and you feel something, even if it's not looking like an area where they use peat, maybe there is.
Yeah, but and another topic beside this whole independent bottling theme is the old whiskies and the old distillates, and you cannot pay now for the whiskies of the 60s, 70s, 80s, but we had the chance during our 5 years of operation with the clubs, and we had the chance, fortunately, to taste stuff from many decades ago, and right there, and we have expert friends, real expert friends who work in this industry and share their insights, and you can get the same feeling from these older versions and older distillates, even when they are not peated in any way. So it's a really interesting it's in many cases it's called a mold bank, which you build up in your head, and then you can follow back and connect the dots. What impression does it leave on you? So I don't know, guys, offline or online, do you have any feedbacks for us? I see that it is really good that the discussion is ongoing here in the quiz studio. So any impressions, any inputs, any questions?
No questions, just to get a nice feedback. Benjamin said that he started to understand the play with the casks. So
okay.
Congratulations to you.
Thanks.
Gabor, I see that you have something to say. Don't be shy.
I really like this one as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's I was under the impression that you are having cask influence, and now I think that you are finding the right balance, and I really like.
Thank you. Thank you. He's just saying that I find the right balance while using casks. Very efficient.
Regarding just one question regarding
Yes.
Freud.
Yeah.
I've seen on the bottle that is it also a cooperation release with someone?
Yeah, the Okroik is yeah, exactly. The question was about the Okroik. Was it a cooperation? Cooperation? Yes, yes, it is. The project is called the Avant-Gardist. It's a brand owned by La Maison du Whisky. Yeah, exactly. To release, to work with small distilleries, ambitious projects, and yeah, all the brands they don't work with because they're too small. They realized at some point that they're small, but many small people are a big chunk of the market in the end. So they started working with small ones.
I realized that it's La Maison du Whisky.
Yeah, it's owned by the La Maison du Whisky. Yeah. Yes, please.
Do you have more information about the sherry cask? What type of sherry?
No, I don't have. The question was, do I have information about the sherry cask? No, I don't. No, I don't.
I thought that he wants to ask you do you have more?
Yeah.
Do you have more of this?
We have more bottles, but I don't have, unfortunately for this one, I don't have because Blair Atoll is a Diageo distillery. And I had, during my short career as an independent bottler, the opportunity to buy a lot of stuff from them. So what I thought was that I'm gonna try every cask the same way I do with the other releases. And they told me, no. This is like buying bulk. So you buy, then you have something, and then you decide what you're gonna do with the cask, applying a finish or not. So I decided to order from them. I got many other independent bottlers who told me the supplier is a good one. Feel free to work with him. It's going to be okay. Don't worry. If you buy a lot of casks, in the end you will find how to work with these casks. And what happened from all the casks I bought from them, it was around let's say 30 casks. I bought 30 casks at this point, and in the end I had no bad cask. Only cask without influence from the wood, and some with the great influence like this one.
If it's public, how big is the stock? So how many
casks do I have?
you have?
Okay. I would say, to be honest, my company owns, let's say, 10 casks. Then what I do, as an independent bottler, my goal is to reach a critical mass of cask in my portfolio to have enough releases through time. Or I can do two things. Find other shareholders of my company that brings a lot of money so I can buy this, or I can sell cask to customers. But you see a lot of people selling casks to customers, so you own it, you never see the seller again, and then you realize that you have no license to sell it. You can try to sell it on the market, you find only scams. So what I do is, okay, my company needs these whiskies in the end. So I sell it to guys who help me buy it when it's still affordable. And then we release it, and I pay back the guy who helped me. So I have 10 casks, and with my clients, I think we own 60 casks in total.
And where exactly?
Huh? Where exactly?
Where is the warehouse?
Yeah, never put your eggs on the same basket. So I have different. I work with different companies around Scotland.
Salim, there is a good point coming from the
Yes, please.
from Bratislava Whisky Club. Let me read it out. We are just chatting internally within Bratislava Whisky Club about the point that your blended malt whiskey is labeled just as blended Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised about this because by definition, blended Scotch should contain at least one grain component according to Scotch Whisky Association.
That's a fair point. Okay, I can repeat. Bratislava Whisky Club mentioned that we blended Scotch whiskey, because I said about my blended company, Limitless. I wrote on all the labels blended Scotch, even though my first release is a blended malt. And they checked on the Scotch Whisky Association information that if you write blended Scotch, it must contain some grain whiskey inside, at least one grain whiskey. What I thought before learning this information, so firstly, thank you very much for this. Even though I like this universe, I work in this universe for a while, we learn every day. So thank you very much for this information. I was thinking that blended Scotch was the wider name, and the more closer you get to a specific recipe, then you can change the name. And it was the common name. So thank you very much. So what I will do is to sell the bottles with a small sample of grain whiskey. You can add on the bottle when you open it, and then boom, it's a blended Scotch. Now, for sure, thank you very much for this information. That's really important to have tastings with very knowledgeable people. We learn every day.
And a good base for your lawyers to try to
Yeah.
do some work with the Scotch Whisky Association, because
He will kill me. My lawyer will kill me. That's
you
all
just
right.
started with mentioning the Isla.
Yeah. I'm already.
We are
done.
just here tasting the whiskey still.
Yeah. Enjoy until you can.
So just one more question.
Yes.
Regarding this beautiful whiskey.
Thank you.
You mentioned it's a second fill
Sherry. Yes.
but you mentioned also that you bought the cask in bulk. And because it was only in this cask, does that mean the Diageo who bought the cask from told you that it's a second fill and you believe it? Or you know that particular cask, you choose it because it's a second fill?
Okay. Do I know? The question is, do I about the Blair Atoll whiskey in the sherry cask? I mentioned this is a second fill, and the question is, do I have the proof this is a second fill, or do I just got the information from Diageo that this is a second fill? So what I know when I bought it is that all the casks I got from them are at least second fill. Some of them can be third fill, because like I said, this bulk offer is like a lottery. The minimum is second fill. You can get third fill, which is not a problem, because as an independent bottler, it's when you start working. You get the whiskey in the vessel. The cask is just a vessel to give it to you, and also to start the aging process. I mean, just to have the age on the bottle, you need the contact with the wood. So then, when you have it, you can decide the work you would like to do with the cask. Do I have the exact proof it is second fill? I don't. But I know that the offer is for second fill at least. The thing is that I also find it pretty active. The thing is that I don't feel the tannins of the wood too much. More the sherry profile rather than the wood flavors, which confirms, in my opinion, that this is probably a second fill. But I don't have the exact proof or the document. I don't know which whiskey would have been inside before mine.
We have again a question in YouTube.
Okay.
How many bottlings do you plan, for example, in 2024? Do you always have a cask ready for bottling?
No. No,
Thank you.
yeah. Mic drop.
Question was how many bottlings
How many bottlings
does
do I
he
plan
plan
to?
for
Yeah.
2024? And if Salim has any casks always ready to be bottled.
I don't have a plan ready right in the stone that I know in 2024 I will release this. What I have is on the 60 casks I told you I have on my stock, I think there is 3 casks that are close to be ready to be bottled. I'm not sure yet. I'm always getting samples, and I hope that something is gonna come quick. I have a Stratenery. Stratenery is the name for independent bottlers for the new distillery Inchderny. Inchderny is the distillery in Speyside or Lowlands. So yeah, the whiskey is first fill bourbon hogshead, and I think it's ready. I just want to wait 6 more months. But when I don't have something in my own stock ready to be bottled, what I do is to work with brokers who got stock of already aged whiskey that might be good to be released. So that's what I do when I don't have in my own stock something to release. I always work with brokers who got a lot of stock, and I can ask for samples, and if something is ready to be bottled, let's go.
Okay.
How often do you sample your own stock?
Question was how often does he sample his own stock? Except tonight,
Yeah,
right?
not enough in my opinion, because I want to try them every day.
What about your wife's opinion?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, maybe we can work together for a single cask for groups in this area.
But sorry, rephrase it. How many times do you sample your stock to remain married?
Yeah,
That's an important note for many of us.
yeah. Asking for a friend, yeah.
Yeah, just a friend. Science. This is for science.
What I would say is that it depends, it always depends on the cask where it's inside. If it's a refill bourbon cask, I know that I have in front of me at least, if it's a new make spirit, I have at least 5 years where I don't need to order a sample. I can have one just to learn what tastes Delaware at 3 years old. It's important for my for science purpose. But let's say we start with years before the next sampling, and then when I decide to apply a finish to try to re-rack in first fill wine barrique or sherry, I would say that the first step is probably 6 months. 6 months inside, and if there is no influence, no great influence inside, another 6 months, but it could be 3 months, and then also there is the last years there were a lot of independent bottlers starting their business, so the bottling companies with the bottling hall were really busy, so you had to anticipate. I mean, planning. I mean, you think it's ready there in 6 months, so you say to them, okay, please release it right now. And then 6 months later, they're like, okay, it's done. So it was quite complicated at this time.
Yeah, we had some same experience with our previous club bottling that we ordered Okroy.
Okay.
Club bottling that we ordered it at a certain point in time, and then we waited, and almost a quarter passed, and then we had the note that okay, finally the Scottish colleagues got to it to bottle it and to label it and to write to us. I guess we can move on to the
next one.
5th one, yeah.
Okay. Let's go now in the northern part of Scotland. Huh? The distillery far north. I'm talking about Highland Park Distillery. The name of the whiskey is Whitlow. I think you already heard this name for independent bottlers. But I had the right to put distilled at Highland Park Distillery. For the joke, when I asked the designer to produce this label, I told him, just put Whitlow, the first fill cask, and then the information. And the warehouse I work with, when they saw the label before being printed, just the PDF of the label, they told me, oh, on this particular cask, you have the right to put distill at Highland Park Distillery. So I didn't say, oh, no worries. I just added the name directly. Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Ah.
Whitlow, distilled at Highland Park.
But I don't have the right to put Highland Park alone. I have the right to put distill at Highland Park Distillery because it's not the same thing. You can use the distillery to produce another type of, another recipe. For instance, Tobermory is here in Leipzig. And Leipzig is a brand. It's a recipe, a brand. So that's the same thing. Whitlow is maybe not exactly distilled like the distillate they use for Highland Park.
Yeah, but coming back to this topic of fake names and what you can use and cannot use, and you need to teaspoon something to call it Williamson and so on, it's everybody knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Always. So it's
but they're not scared about us. They're not scared about knowledgeable people in the whiskey business because we are 0.05% of the consumers. What they don't want is to have the mass consumer thinking they are buying an actual Highland Park original bottling when they buy this one or another one. But for us, if you all know altogether what it is, for them it's all right. So it's
and someone stole the bottle, but it was a really nice Viking ship and a kraken reaching up from the depths of the ocean, and it's already gone. So you can look it up online, but it's a really nice label.
It's a 5 years old whiskey. Yes, quite young for a Highland Park. So 5 years old for a Whitlow, sorry. Yeah, you have the kraken that is crushing the Viking boat. You all know the Highland Park original bottlings. You know they're using this Viking story again and again. So I use the same route as them as a joke, and also because some of their design is quite good. So it's a tribute to Highland Park using this design. 5 years old whiskey. First fill Chateau Latour wine barrique. No, I didn't call them directly, hey guys, sell me a cask. That's another one I didn't buy directly from them because you can't just call Chateau Latour and ask for I mean, you can call them, and then they decide if they want to sell to you or not. But yeah, it's a 3 years old. Sorry, it's a 3 years in a refill bourbon, then transferred for 2 years in the Chateau Latour wine barrique. Five years old, yes.
And when you use this barrel for a finish of a Highland Park, is it determined after that what kind of distillates you can use it for again later on? So you are only able to go into the slightly or more peated direction, or just experimenting? And
what I would say is that I'm doing experiments.
Okay.
For instance, I had a previous batch of many releases, the one with Benriach. I had also, so there was a Benriach, Leipzig, so peated, Evelauer, and Balbler. Mm-hmm. And all these casks, I filled them with Ben Nevis new make. So I'm really.
Sorry, you have then a Ben Nevis, which is aged or finished in a Lecce barrel.
No. It will become.
It will become.
Yeah, because it's a
Sign
full
up.
maturation. Yeah. Because that's the experiment part.
Okay.
I bought this new make, unpeated new make, because they're also selling the peated new make from Ben Nevis. But the unpeated new make in all these 4 casks. And yeah, that's completely an experiment. I want to taste it by myself. I mean, for me, I'm not thinking of my consumer when I'm selecting these casks, the way I will use it. It's only the things I would like to try. And I'm sure I will find some people that want the same. But when I work, I want to try this.
We just need to align our travel dates and...
Yeah, you can taste it in the warehouse for sure.
Yeah, but talking about the waxy Ben Nevis character and combining it with the tar and coal and ocean feeling of Lecce, and that will be interesting.
And you can add to that the Lecce I released was in the first fill Marsala wine barrique. So Marsala is a Sicilian wine, like the same style as the sherry or port. They're all different, but the same style. So I think it's going to be quite special.
Okay.
So guys, on YouTube or here, what do you think about this Highland Park? Something classic like all the other parks you had, or different?
Definitely not.
Cheers to that. Different, you said.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, not to my taste, but this is the first one.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, from this one, I really get the complete opposite opinion. No one told me, I don't know what to say about this one. It's always, okay, I never had this one, this is amazing, or, this is not my kind of Highland Park, I don't like it. So, yeah. But in the end, it proved that I took a risk. If people had to take decision on it.
Yeah, but
Please.
Might we know somehow what kind of barley they used? I mean, if they used the famous local barley for that, because in Ireland, or can use the bare barley, but is originated from Orkney, or they just using the most common concerto or opera or something?
The question was about the barley. Was it the bare barley they use on the island? Because you can find it on different islands. Or is it the more classic barley like concerto or other optic or whatever other barleys? I don't know the barley they used, but I would say that in the Whitlow recipe, I don't think they would use their precious bare barley, in my opinion. But maybe they're using it. But it's too precious for them to use it for independent bottlers, in my opinion.
can we have some hardcore Highland Park fans
Opinion?
on site? Okay, so far it is the favorite in the lineup.
And what about online? Do they like the... Yes.
Maybe you have touched on this topic, but is it different from cask to cask that you can drive Highland Park even together with Whitlow?
Yes. The question was, is it different from cask to cask of Whitlow that we have the right to put Highland Park Distillery or not? So yes, the answer is yes. Sometimes you have the right to put only Whitlow. Sometimes you have the right to put the two names. And even also you have sometimes you can only write Orkney single malt. So when it's Orkney single malt, there is two options, Scapa or Highland Park, and it's Highland Park. But yeah. But yeah, on all the cask of Whitlow that I own, I have, I think, one more where I can put Disneyland Highland Park, and the two others, I don't have the right.
And here comes the question which I'm pretty sure you were waiting for.
Oh.
Why 0.5 bottles instead of 0.7 bottles?
The size
of the market?
Size of your
the size of the bottles. Oh! Yes. Yeah. I fully understand. The question is for people on YouTube and here, why I chose to use 0.5 liter bottles instead of 0.7 liter bottles. So the explanation is that what I do in my job is to exploring the world of whiskey and taking risks. Sometimes, if you get a full bottle of something that is just an experiment that you want to try, you want to share, but you don't want to sip every night for decades, it's more like a bottle from a scientist that wants to make experiments rather than the old bottle that you will always get at home. You finish it, you buy another one, and rather have a big one rather than a small one. That's for experiments.
That is why you build up a community first. So join the clubs and drink together.
Yeah, split together, try together.
That is an important point because it's, even before the big price boom, basically in the past years during COVID, especially, we as we established the clubs here in Hungary, we were pretty much the like-minded people who wanted to try and taste, but not buy a full bottle. But it's always tricky and risky in many cases, and it's easier to share with friends and like-minded people and then decide if you like it or not. So
yeah, I didn't mention at the beginning all the things I am doing. I forgot to tell you at first that I have a blended malt and Scotch whiskey brand, but also I am developing with some tech guys, because I'm not a tech guy. I'm geek for just playing video games, but not a tech guy. A platform to help people sharing and splitting a cask together, not investing. Investing. What you invest is to buy at a cheap price something that will cost a lot after, but for drinking. So yeah, the same way of having a group and splitting. I would like to create or to bring the community I've created around the platform where they can buy shares of a cask and get the bottles in a few years. The first years you have to wait, but then you start receiving each year bottles. You take a decision because on all the parts you have from a cask, you have the decision to vote which finish we can apply on the cask and things like this. So I'm implementing this. The team, the tech guys are working on this.
But they are not here, so you can take the credit.
Yeah. I'm doing everything the whole day.
Very nice idea.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, it's always, like I said, the way I finish my whiskeys, it's always because I want to try this. The same thing with this platform. It's something I would like to, if there was one, I would be a client. So I'm doing just the thing I think I'm a good client, because I think I'm not the only one in this wanting this. Guys, the last one. A moment of silence for all the people who like Kaolila here. Who likes Kaolila here? Yeah? Okay.
Who doesn't?
Only people not hearing what I'm saying. On YouTube, feel free to spam the chat if you like Kaolila also. So this is the other one with the Bear Atoll that I didn't touch when I bought it. When I bought the cask, it was already 10 years old. Okay? So it's Kaolila refill bourbon hogshead. Fully matured in this cask. And it's a 12 years old whiskey. When I bought it, it was 10 years old. I tried it. I asked for a sample as soon as I got it. And it was as good as it could be. It's a Kaolila, it's really good. I mean, I'm biased because I really like Kaolila. And 2 years after, I tasted it thinking, okay, what kind of finish I will do on this one. And what I like from Kaolila is 100% what you have in this glass. So I decided not to apply a finish. It's not because I like to do finishes that I will do every time. When it's good like this, I don't touch it, and let's have it together, guys.
Yeah, and as they say, you cannot make a bad decision with Kulila. So it's consistent.
It's the safest bet.
It's a safe
Yeah.
bet for independent butlers
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly. There is a lot of Kaolila cask on the market. Recently, I heard that Diageo decided to stop selling casks to independent bottlers. That's what I heard summer of 2023. And recently, some of my suppliers offered me to buy some stock of new make spirit. So maybe sometimes they're just saying,
Testing
maybe
the
not
market.
Diageo, but maybe people around it are saying fake news to sell a lot. And but yeah, on this one, I feel all the good tastes I like from Kaolila, the ashes, citrusy, olive oil on the nose. I mean, yeah, for me that's perfect. I hope for you too, guys.
Bratislava Whiskey Club tells that the Kulila is just
Yeah, I agree. Who visited already the distillery Kaolila? Who visited Kaolila already? Yeah, one, two,
three.
three. Nice. In my opinion, this is not the most beautiful distillery outside. But, I mean, the consistency of the quality.
We can talk about this beautiful thing about these distilleries.
Yeah, oh wow.
They are producing amazing.
Yeah. Just the comparison with Dinston Distillery, which is not a beautiful building, but it's a beautiful spirit. Yeah, definitely. Yes. So it's my primary job, but it's not my primary income. No, I would say it's been 3 years now that I'm working all day, every day for the company. And sometimes it brings enough money to live, and sometimes I do different mission in the industry just to create the balance, exactly. To be honest, because working as an independent bottler, the main difficulties are that you're always repeating the same work and the same investment. Especially with the design I've created, as soon as I create a new one, I have to pay for the whole process of creation from my designers. So it's a lot of investment, a lot of work. That's also why I released a blended company to lower the risk and the investment and create a better revenue, I would say.
From the comments on YouTube, this Kulila was shot at the end.
Yeah.
Because the guys really like it. Fantastic bourbon, Kulila, and oh my god, I told Starian is going to win. Sorry, but Kulila is
Yeah.
Okay, so Kulila is the best based on the online feedbacks.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about the offline guys? What do you think from the six?
Kaolila is
so
is
first
winning.
table Kulila, okay. Second one, right, which was
Tomintao.
Tomintao.
Also bourbon. Blair
Blair
Atoll from
Atoll.
Sherry.
I
Blair
would-
Atoll also,
yeah, yeah,
Team
yeah.
Blair Atoll. Okay.
I would also go for
No.
It's hard.
Yeah. And these are all my kids, so I love them equally.
Okay. No, I would also go for something more special. That Kulila is beautiful, but I tasted many of similar Kulilas, and
Yeah.
for me more special was the Okroy
Yeah.
and Tomintoul as well, and the Benriach. So I'm in big trouble not to buy all the bottlings, but really this was a really good lineup, I guess. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions from the on-site guys or online? Yeah.
If you say you can get some spoiler for the incoming releasing,
Okay.
like advertisement, what we can expect in the future.
Someone else asked me if I have a spoiler on what's next. Okay. So I will soon, in the coming days, receive a sample from a cask I own, which is a Craigellachie, finished for a year and a half in a first fill Rive Salt. Rive Salt is also a sweet wine from France, finished in a sweet wine from France. Craigellachie. Also the Stratenry, the not well-known distillery. The distillery Inchderny, it's a very small distillery. That's the two that is soon to be released. And for the rest, I'm also checking on the market what I can get. But that's what I have, I think will be released really soon.
If you want to hear the online,
Yes, please.
they are like Benjamin says the Kola is the best. Tomasz says HP first, Highland Park first, and then Kolila, and then Blairto. Bratislava Whisky Club says Kolila first, Blairto second, and Benriach is the third.
So we are discussing the online feedbacks on the priority list of the drams.
And Corilla is not always the first.
Yep. So it's pretty divided online and offline, and we have another question here.
Is it the first time in Hungary, so you're going back to Switzerland with some nice Tokai barrels, or what do you plan?
The question is, will I go back home with Tokai wine barrels? Please let me know where I can buy them. Please.
If we get drunk enough, we steal some for us. So the weekend is still long. We can manage. We have some wine experts here. So
Yeah, really?
We have some connections.
Yeah. Hungary is famous for wines as well. So definitely, if I can get some great barrels from Hungary, that's for sure I would use them. Any other question, guys?
How many bottles do you buy per year for yourself?
For myself, how many bottles I buy per year?
For himself.
Yeah. Before becoming an independent bottler, let's say that I reached, I think, more than 600 bottles. But since I am an independent bottler, to be honest, I think I buy 3 or 4 bottles per year. What I buy most is samples to find and casks. Yeah, exactly. If I can use the money I spend on cask, I can buy 1,000 bottles per year. Yeah.
So you need to change your game, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Elevate. Okay, I don't know if you have any more questions online, or
No?
Then we would really like to thank you all for coming. And
Thank you very much, guys. It was a real pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Noble. Now, no nectars.
Thank you. And now comes the part which we do not want to stream, so thank you very much online.
Let's go!
We'll see if next week we will still have a company and everyone is all right. But thank you very much for joining, and stay tuned. And we hope that we can come back to you very soon with with some similar offers, new bottlings. So thank you guys, keep in touch, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for all the questions.